Hey Libras, welcome to your Venus in retrograde reading, where we'll take a peek at what you can expect over the next couple of months. We're going to jump right in and start by pulling an oracle card just to see what overall energy is surrounding this reading for you. And what we have is get grounded, empaths, highly sensitive, connect with nature. Libras, I feel like there's been a fair amount of churn that's been happening in your life as of late, and it's caught you a little bit off balance. I think that there are some unexpected things that have been popping up, and it seems like one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. It's nothing that's super catastrophic on its own, but it's almost like these little irritating, inconvenient things keep popping up, and you're just kind of like, bruh, I need a break. Like, this is insane. It's like you sort of get yourself out of one situation and then just immediately find yourself in something else. And I feel like there's a combination of sort of people that are involved with this, just random happenstance things, frustrations at your job. It's just like a little bit of a melting pot of shenanigans that I think overall you're doing a pretty decent job of dealing with as they come along, but it's leaving you a little bit wiped out. And it's sort of shaken this good run that you've been having as of late. And so it's kind of like, all right, I guess this is a retrograde kicking in for me because things are going a little bit off kilter. So I think that over the next couple of months, during this time period, it's going to be really important to make sure that you get your feet under you so that you don't spiral off into, this just whirling dervish of chaos. So let's jump into some tarot and see what other messages Spirit has for you. So starting off with what is in store for you during this Mercury retrograde, we have the Emperor card. So you're not really off to a bad start here, Libra. The Emperor is really a card of power. It's you standing in this very strong energy, making sure that your boundaries are intact, making sure that you don't overexert yourself in any one area of life. The Emperor is someone who is very firm. They're very thoughtful. They're very strategic. And I think that you were trying to embrace that energy. It's a little bit more on the masculine side, so it's not as much emotion that's involved with whatever you're going through right now as you're trying to process all of these things happening. It's almost like, okay, I need to put my feelings to the side and I need to just deal with this. I need to get through this. So it doesn't necessarily feel as though you are, getting close to having a breakdown, or you're not reacting particularly emotionally to the things that are going on around you. And I think that it's serving you pretty well. Let's see if we can clarify that a little bit. We have the 9 of Cups to clarify. So again, very good start, Libra. There's a sense of contentment as you're moving forward. Again, nothing that what I'm feeling about these things that are sort of popping up around you is particularly fatal, right? It's not super earth-shattering. It's just more annoying than anything else. And I almost feel like for a lot of you, because I know that in prior readings, Libras have been going through some very rough moments that were a little bit more on the catastrophic side of life. But you all have been doing a lot of the work that you need to do to find your balance and find a path that is a lot more healthy for you when it comes to your self-care, when it comes to your relationships with other people, when it comes to your finances. And I almost feel like you're viewing these little things that pop up as a bit of a test. Have I learned my lesson? Have I learned not to overreact? Have I learned healthier ways to respond to these things that come up? And so far, it's looking like the answer is yes. So what might interrupt you during this retrograde outside of these teeny tiny little annoyances? We have the 3 of Cups. So 3 of Cups is really about friendships. It's about celebration. It's having a good time, connecting with other people. And so I think that as you are going through these moments, where you're trying to sort of clean up this energy. Some of your friendships may take a back seat to you making sure that you're okay. With the Two of Swords to clarify, as you try and figure out what your path forward looks like, as you figure out how to sort of deal with these occurrences, it might be that you were actively choosing to sort of set your friendships to the side. It might be a situation where you go on sort of social hiatus so that you are better able to focus on the things that you need to get done, those things that you need to address right now in this moment that you can't really put off for much longer. So that's something to be a little bit aware of, that it might, your friendships, your relationships might take a little bit of a hit as you're moving forward. Again, nothing ridiculous, but it feels as though you're making the conscious decision to kind of step away from the more social aspects of your life to make sure that everything gets to a much more stable point. Now, an important shift that is going to happen to you during this time, we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Now, the pages are super naive energy. They're apprentices, they're young, they're still learning, they're still growing. And with the Pentacles, this has to do with some tangible things in your life. And so I feel as though you sort of taking this time to yourself, you sort of stepping away from your friends and these social activities and things like that is going to allow you to focus more on those tangible things that you want to achieve or that you want to strengthen. So if you're looking to make more money, then maybe this is you taking a little bit of time to think about your career, maybe map out a plan going forward. Or if maybe you're starting a business, or maybe you have a business that's been kind of on the back burner that you've been doing a little bit here and there. This is going to be your time to really focus on that and to really put a little bit of extra added effort into it. Maybe you're looking at buying a house or fixing up where it is that you live already. But there's something tangible that you have sort of come to the realization that things are not going to move in the way that you want them to unless you really make that conscious effort to take a little time to invest in it, to make sure that it's exactly what you want and that things are progressing. We have that clarified by the Six of Pentacles in reverse and the Two of Wands. So with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, it feels like you're no longer settling for little things, right? When we see this card upright, we have this, this person who's holding the scales of justice and he's weighing them out and he's giving a little bit of something to this person over here. This person, they got their hands out, they're kind of begging, they're waiting for their share. And I think that you're like, okay, you know what? This is clearly not going to come to me. This is not going to be handed to me. I need to go out and get it myself. And we have that clarified again by the Two of Wands. Someone who is making a decision whether or not they stay where they are, or if they take their one wand and the world in their hand and go out and explore. And so I think with all of these three cards together, Libra, that you are now sort of taking your life into your own hands. There is no more waiting. There's no more half-assing. It's like, I want this. I am going to go out and get it. And you might have to reprioritize where people and other situations fit in your life in order to be able to achieve that. Now, something that you should be mindful of during this retrograde, we have the Devil in reverse. So those bad habits that you may have fallen into before, the procrastination, self-doubt, things of that nature, make sure that now that you've sort of let those go, for the most part, I think every now and again we might backslide a little bit. But Libras, I think that you've learned your lesson. So make sure that you don't fall back into those same traps that you may have fallen into before. And we have that clarified by the Six of Cups. So this is a card of past energy, card of reminiscing. So universe is saying, hey, you've come this far. You've put in all of this work. Don't let these little nits that pop up, these little annoyances that are popping up that you have to deal with, don't let these things lead you to a path where it's like, oh my God, no matter what I do, no matter how much work I put in, it's always going to be something. Try to the extent that you can to not adopt that sort of mindset. Look at it more from, oh, hell, compared to what I've been through, this is light work. I don't need to be worried about this. It's just a speed bump. I'll get over it, I'll get through it, and then on to the next. So being very mindful of not to fall back into past patterns where maybe you felt a little bit defeated or overwhelmed, making sure that you remain grounded and focused as you move forward. So now, how is this going to help you on your path going forward? No stress. Like I said, Libra, this is light work for you. 9 of Swords in reverse. This is a card of anxiety, stress, sleepless nights, being worried about things. Libra, making sure that you stay grounded, making sure that you stay focused, prioritizing things that are most important to you. There's not going to be anything in the world that you need to be worried about. And going forward, you will realize that. You'll know the difference between something that's catastrophic and something that is just a moment. That is absolutely just a moment for you. And we have that clarified by the Queen of Wands in reverse, and we have the World. So the Queen of Wands is a very fiery energy in general, right? A lot of passion, a lot of excitement. She can pop off if she really feels like it. And the Queen of Wands feels like it pretty often. But I think for my Libras out there who have done all of this work, they're not going to be as reactive to these little situations as they might have been in the past. It's going to be much easier for you to complete something, to wrap it up, to address it when it pops up, and then move on to the next with the World. The closing of one chapter and the opening of a new one. This is putting something to rest and just moving past it like it didn't even exist. So I think, Libra, that you are experiencing some speed bumps during this time period, but remember that they're just that. They're speed bumps. They're not mountains. And you've done the work. So all you need to do is stay grounded and remember exactly who you are. So that's what I got from my Libras out there. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.